For those with good taste.
Welcome back, Tasties and Tastettes, to another episode of FTWGT Weekly. It's your boy Lenny, joined again, as always, with the man who has a question for you. Do you have a trunk? Because he's putting his bike in it. Dante, how the are you? Bleep that. And D33 Ray in the building. Hello.
Where'd that intro come from? I don't even own a bike.
If you own a bike, though, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Also, if you want him to put his bike in your trunk, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Whoa. Feel like that means something.
Hey, Dante, can you tell me about something?
What's up?
What do you know about Peter Pan?
Oh my god. He leads the young boys that never want to grow up to Never Neverland, right?
In the theme of Peter Pan, he's the good guy?
Oh, are you going to say he's the kidnapper?
Is he the good guy?
I mean, I think the movie frames it to be the good guy, but now you're posing a really interesting question.
I had my mind blown this week.
Captain Hook is the good guy.
Yes.
He's trying to free the kids.
I never knew this, dude. Because I don't remember the movie. I've
Why
never
is
read
Disney
the book.
always backwards?
Yeah, so here's the thing. Somebody told me that, and then I started talking to other people who knew more about Peter Pan, because I knew nothing about Peter Pan other than the fact that I always assumed that he was the good guy. Peter Pan is the bad guy, Dante.
Holy shit.
And Captain Hook is the good guy. And Tinkerbell is a jealous thought.
I kind of want to watch this again now.
No, but the movie doesn't display it this way. The movie,
I know the movie doesn't, but there's just a lot of themes of the movie that I guess I'm not fully remembering, but I get the overall plot.
So yeah, like Peter Pan is a kidnapper, and Captain Hook is trying to save all the kids.
I think I want to watch the movie again through this lens.
And then Wendy has Stockholm Syndrome.
Who's Wendy?
It's the bitch that he is in love with.
Oh, that's one of the kids he's trying to like.
Yeah.
I got you. Huh.
F***s you up a little bit, doesn't it? Believe that.
Right. Yeah.
It like reshapes your whole framework of like a childhood movie.
I mean, so
because like
for the most
we as
part,
children, we would have got kidnapped by Peter Pan. Because I remember watching that and just be like, yeah, I don't want to grow up.
So
Facts.
looking it up real quick, it's stated that the story makes it pretty clear where Peter is not evil or bad in nature. His acts and actions are simply a byproduct of his immaturity, being in Neverland, preventing one from aging physically, meaning he is essentially a child who is trying to gain friends. And through him doing this leads to these kids also never being able to grow up and reach adulthood.
But
Why do you want to bring logic into it? I just want to say he's the bad guy.
But like, can we add the other layer into this that I haven't mentioned yet, Dave?
Captain Hook?
No. The guy who wrote it's a pedophile.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah,
Yeah,
defend that one, Dave.
The guy who wrote Peter Pan's a pedophile. Now think about that story.
Yeah, keep scrolling, Dave. What you got for us? Defend him.
shut up. Go.
Go shove your bike in a trunk, dude.
I might.
Believe that. Yeah. So at first somebody just told me about the Peter Pan being a bad guy thing, and I was like, this has just reshaped my thinking of the entirety of what I know about Peter Pan and also about Tinkerbell, because I didn't know she was a jealous thought. But then it made total sense, because what is her outfit? Dude, like, people have been looking up Tinkerbell's skirt forever.
Yeah.
Right? Like, she's been flashing her goodies to everybody who wants to look. It's true. And then the next layer was I went to somebody who I was like, oh, you would definitely know a lot about Disney shit. And they were like, yeah, the guy who wrote Peter Pan, like they were like, first of all, they were like, the book depicts him way more as a bad guy. The movie is way more in the camp of, I think, what Dave's saying, where it's spun more of like the good guy aspect of it. Or it's ambiguous that like he's not necessarily a good guy, he's just a kid who's immature. But then they were like, the crazy part of this is that the guy who wrote Peter Pan is a pedo. And then you think about that story of these kids not being able to grow up. And you're like, what the fuck?
I can't find a single fact online that says that he's even relatively close to a bad person.
All right, well, he's dead. So if I'm making shit up, like, who cares? But again, I don't sit down. You can back this up. I don't research either. Like,
no. You take everything at face value, which is kind of part of the stick at this point. But that's hilarious.
What are there any other? This is what I need to go find out now. Is there like other stories from when I was a kid? Like what was Pinocchio's nose doing?
The dude was a pathological liar.
Yeah.
There's probably a dark side to this. That thing kept getting bigger and bigger and doing what?
Why are you trying to make it sexual? Because I feel like that's the direction you're going right now, and I don't
or
like
it. Like what about Jack with the beanstalk? That thing kept growing too. He plants a little seed and it just keeps getting bigger.
Are you saying the whole story is an innuendo?
Disney shit does that. You can't tell me that Disney movies don't believe in
Jack
innuendo.
and the Beanstalk is not a Disney property, though.
Is it
That's
not?
just like a nursery rhyme or something, no?
What about the giant peach?
James?
That's just a BBL.
And James is all up in that shit.
Yes, dude. James found himself a Brazilian bitch.
Oh, man. You talking about Jack and the Giant Beanstalk, like, shit, maybe he's just trying to grow a weed stalk, you know?
That's the thing we were talking about with Red One, where somebody gets way too high and like overthinks it. I got an idea here.
Jack and the Giant Weed Stalk.
Yeah.
Starring Wiz Khalifa and Lil Yachty.
How high? Jack and the weed stock. They just get really stoned on the couch and daydream about like.
And Snoop Dogg's in it, but he's in there as a CGI dog.
He is the giant.
No, he's an actual dog.
Okay, that works. No, but that's the Planet of the Apes movie that he's doing.
Yeah.
Okay, so Dante, I had a little news bit for you that I need you to do something for me. We haven't brought this back in a while. I'm bringing back an old bit.
Oh no.
Ready?
No.
So A24, we're familiar with the company, right?
I know where you're going with this. Okay, yeah.
The production company.
Are we playing MFK?
Yeah.
Yeah, I thought so.
They've announced that they are starting a chocolate brand named Movie Chocolate.
Like, that's just the name.
Yeah, it's called Movie Chocolate.
That's
and they have
so
they
unappealing.
have 3 announced flavors right now.
Ugh.
Fizzy fountain soda, which is root beer and popping candy. They have popcorn and candy, which is popcorn and candy coated chocolate pieces. And then they have salty peanut crunch, which is salty peanuts and a caramel crunch. I'm going to need you to marry, fuck, kill those.
What's the popcorn one again? That's just chocolate covered popcorn?
So popcorn and candy coated chocolate pieces. So it sounds like M&M's and chocolate, maybe. Well, M&M and popcorn covered chocolate. Chocolate covered popcorn. That'd actually be way cooler if it was the other way around.
Popcorn covered chocolate? How did it get the chocolate in there?
That's great. Well, they infuse the beans.
Okay. The kernels are injected.
Yeah.
I like that.
They're raised in a... Never mind.
Yeah, I was like, yo, where are you going with this?
It was going to be a very bad joke.
I know. The second you said they're raised, I was like, no, he's not going anywhere good with this.
Yeah, it was a bad joke. Cancelable.
Now I'm curious, but yeah, we'll leave that for another time. Yeah.
Pod, yeah.
All right, so marry the salty caramel joint. You know, we like them light skin.
So this is where I was concerned. I thought you were gonna go kill because it's called salty peanut crunch. But you're marrying that. That's fine.
Why would I have killed it?
It just sounds a little wild.
Why? You know what, man? I'm just in it for the candy.
All right. So yeah, just strictly candy. You're gonna marry the salty peanut crunch. Okay, so we're left with fizzy fountain soda and popcorn and candy.
I'm fucking the popcorn and candy.
Yeah,
We're
me
killing
too.
the fizzy fountain soda.
I'm dead. I'm getting in that guts, dude.
Yeah. Give me the Dune popcorn bucket. I'm in there.
Exactly. It's just like it's a dumb name, movie chocolate, right? That's a dumb name. I do appreciate just being like, oh, Pop Rocks. Like, what if we just put our own spin on that? Or like, hey, people buy like bunch of crunch and pour it into their popcorn. Like, what if we did that?
Yeah.
And then like salty peanut and caramel crunch is just, it's every candy bar ever made.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that sounds like a dumb idea.
Are you guys gonna get it though? Like
Okay.
if you're in an AMC,
I gotta sample it.
you know how you're talking about last week, or 2 weeks ago maybe, when you were at the movies and there was a little stand with people trying to like sell stuff or whatever.
Yeah.
What if they just had a free sample table?
Oh, 100%.
You're in there, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
I mean, come on. If it's free, it's free. It's for me.
Yeah, it's free. Like I'll try a couple free pieces of candy.
It's my favorite price.
Yeah. And you know what? The troubling thing is, right, is like that's great promo because shit tastes better when it's free.
No, that's true. And then you might buy it.
I might chase it. I might give them a sale, and then I might find out it doesn't taste as good when I pay for it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Dave, how do you feel about it?
All
Are you a
right.
candy guy? I mean, we did a Halloween thing a couple weeks ago, so I guess I should like know this, but
He's a huge candy corn guy.
Yeah, I mean, I probably have like the biggest sweet tooth out of anybody at the table.
Yeah, because you gave us those chocolate frogs. You know, I just finished that like last week.
Yeah.
yeah, mine's done.
I mean, I was literally just eating a half and half cookie like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, no, I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't really have much of a sweet tooth. I mean, like I enjoy candy from time to time, but that's one of those things where it's like it's only good in moderation.
I think like my sweet tooth is ice cream. I fuck with ice cream.
Ice cream, yeah. I can't.
Yeah, I mess with ice cream. Candy, I like candy. I think everybody likes candy, right? Like,
I don't know,
but
if
but
that's
in moderation. Like it's too much.
I think
at times.
most people can enjoy a piece from time to time, but like I think it's rare at this point that you get people that are just like, I always want candy.
I mean, DK Metcalf,
Yeah.
Marshawn Lynch.
Marshawn Lynch would always eat Skittles on the sideline.
I didn't say it didn't exist. I just said it was rare.
DK
Yeah.
Metcalf eats one meal a day and 3 bags of candies. 3 bags
And I
of
think
candy.
the meal is like McDonald's.
Yeah, it's probably not good.
And this man's still alive?
He's
The dude is
the best
absolute beast. Like one of the
shape. Okay, he's a freak athlete. Metabolism's fucking moving, dude.
Dog, but like you're not putting anything with sustenance in your body. That's crazy. I
I mean, he probably is getting like the McRib.
the worst thing on the McDonald's menu. The reason it keeps coming off. Like, come
There's
on,
plenty of protein in that, dude.
bro.
What's your favorite flavor M&M?
Aren't they all chocolate
I
flavored?
was just wondering if I could get you on that.
You got me for a minute. I was
Yes,
like, I was scanning through the colors in my head. I was like, wait.
You were going to be like the blue one?
I mean, I would have said peanut.
That would have been a good answer.
Uh,
I like,
not the biggest fan of the peanut
dude.
M&Ms.
So they have a caramel cold brew M&M, really good.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh,
it's really really good.
I like the pretzel one as well.
Pretzel ones are good.
Mm.
I actually don't like peanut M&Ms. I don't like peanuts.
Not the biggest fan. Well, I won't say. I guess I don't like the actual like peanuts in nut form. I like peanut butter.
I think that the peanut M&M have the best value.
Just because you get the most.
Yeah, they're beefy.
M&M,
Dude.
yeah,
Those
yeah,
things
yeah.
are beefy as hell.
Reese's Pieces.
Fire. Love them.
Yeah.
Don't like them. Give me a Reese's cup.
No, I'm actually the opposite.
Wow.
I think you're the more popular opinion. However, I like the proportion of chocolate to peanut butter ratio in a Reese's Pieces than I do in a Reese's cup.
No.
That's
I understand. You're in the
false.
popular
That's crazy.
side. Okay, yeah, that's fair.
I don't know if that is an argument.
I'm okay with getting flamed in the comments for this.
You might. I'm not saying that you're the only person that likes Reese's Pieces, but to make that comment that you think the chocolate to peanut butter ratio in a Reese's Pieces is better than a Reese's cup.
Well, this goes back to what I was saying though about it being like candy is like too much. Like I feel like it's like overwhelming the amount of chocolate and peanut butter I'm getting in a Reese's.
I could see that.
Where do you be the tiebreaker?
I think I'm falling on your side though. Like I'm with the Reese's Pieces. Whoa, damn! This was worthy of a deep breath. God damn.
Could you bleep the G word, please?
Oh damn! Never say his name in vain. My bad.
Yeah, thanks.
Voldemort.
What's the difference between peanut butter filled M&Ms and Reese's Pieces?
Wait, they have peanut butter filled M&Ms?
I feel like they have to.
Yeah, it's the red bag.
Yeah.
Oh, I have to sample that. I never.
We should buy them next week and blind taste test them. See if Dante can pick out the difference.
I don't know.
I'm not trusting y'all with any sort of blind taste test. I don't give a fuck.
Dude, I'm not going to nut in your your M&Ms, bro.
I mean, the nut will already be there.
Yeah, that's a good point. It's creamy, too.
Oh, I'm terrified. Yeah, I can't trust you now. You know my theory. You're going to use it against me.
Is there like, do you guys think there's like what's the most underrated candy bar?
Underrated?
Yeah. So there's like the really popular, like Snickers is like the
no.
pinnacle,
I get
right?
what you
know
mean.
what I'm saying?
Like, I don't know, like a Charleston Chew?
The fuck is wrong with you?
Oh, you ain't a fan?
No.
We had this conversation a month ago.
About
We
Charleston
did.
Chews. Yeah,
Yes.
I think I did bring it up.
I wiped it from my memory.
Yeah.
We'll bring it back.
Full size candy bar. Take 5 is numero uno as far as underrated candy bars to
Is
me.
Crunch still a thing?
Yeah, Crunch bars.
Yeah, I feel like I haven't
Reese's
seen those
Fast
in a
Break.
Crunch bars better in a small size, fun size. What was
No,
it?
definitely.
The Reese's Fast Break.
Reese's bought Take 5 bars, by the way. I don't know if you guys know that.
Yeah, those.
But
They have a combination bar as well.
But the fast break one is the one with like it's almost like a Butterfinger on the inside. Is that what
No.
that one is?
No,
So-
it's been a while since I've had it. So to give you the exact, I mean, it's chewy and like creamy. I think there might be like caramel and like pretzel.
But
in there.
that's what a Take 5 bar is.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah. So I
Fast
think that
Break
we're just talking about the same candy.
It's not. There's the
But I think
Reese's Take 5 and there's a Reese's Fast
Fast
Break.
break. Okay. Because because a Take 5 is just is pretzel, caramel, chocolate, peanut butter, all in one thing. I've also heard I've never had this before because I thought I would hate it, but I think I'm into 100 grand bars.
I don't think I've ever had one.
I like the miniature 100 grand, like the Halloween fun size candy. I don't really get the full size bar. It's a completely different size and consistency to them.
But is that like similar to a Take 5? Is 100 grand like similar to a Take 5?
No, because 100 grand has like little, I think, crunch or like corn pop pieces on the outside in the chocolate.
That's
And
delicious.
it's-
And
and
then
it's-
caramel on the inside.
Yeah.
That sounds great, right?
Oh, I forgot about these.
So
Hershey's Fifth Ave.
Fast Break is chewy nougat, peanut butter, and milk chocolate. It's not like
I don't like
It's-
nougat, dude.
it's not the Three Musketeers. It's peanut butter nougat.
Okay. All right. I'll give it a go. Dante, I'm under the impression that you might have the worst candy takes of all time, and you're actually hurting my Reese's Pieces take.
That
very
might
quickly.
be why I just don't like candy, huh?
Because what was you just said? It was Charleston Chew, and what was the one that you were like, oh damn, I haven't had this in a while, and then I looked at the picture, I was like, nobody eats that.
The Hershey's Fifth Ave.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Who eats a Fifth Ave bar?
Are you a Nico wafer kind of guy?
Nico wafer.
I think it's Necco wafer.
not on my screen.
Oh,
NECO wafer.
They're made in Boston.
Charleston chews are too.
Oh.
Charlestown chews.
Sick. Yeah, a little bit of trivia for y'all.
Yeah, in case you were wondering. Remember when I don't actually research anything and that's completely made
You
up?
like Nico wafers?
I don't think I've ever
They just
had
look
those
like
in my life.
they look like the Pepto Bismol
Yeah.
Tablets.
tablets.
Yeah.
I don't think anybody eats them.
I've never.
They also just come in like a white wrapper, right? Like they don't come
Yeah.
in like a descriptive packaging.
No, it's kind of just like a clear, like milky white, like wax paper.
Yeah. It's not what you think it is, Dante.
Bro, can't touch that shit.
Staying far away from
I
that.
don't trust those factory workers.
Do you guys know who said that they were staying far away from something that they're suddenly walking back? This is how I transition into the news.
I mean, you are the king of segues, but I'm curious to see where you're going with this.
Remember last week where I was like, Denzel said he's done with acting?
Yeah.
And it's like these roles that he signed on for are going to be the last ones. I just read something today that like it is saying that there's interest in making an Equalizer 4 and 5.
Maybe without him.
No, it was from him. He said it.
Oh. Well, maybe he's like passing the buck, you know? Maybe he's just going to produce those.
Okay, let me read what it said. Denzel Washington reveals that the Equalizer 4 and 5 are in the works. And then the quote is, "They want me to go get the bad guys." Bitch, you 70.
What the fuck? Equalizer, like, is he really 70 at this point? We just talked about this last week, didn't we? Yeah.
We did this exact bit. Like,
Yeah.
we looked up his age.
Damn, okay. I'm sorry, it's just damn. I mean, old. At this point, Equalizer's gonna be looking a lot like Thelma.
And like, I was misled on Equalizer 3. Like, somebody sold it to me before I saw it as like he's like Michael Myers in that movie. And then I watched it and I was like, I guess for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, there's like one scene where I can see them making that
Yeah.
metaphor or whatever, but like,
You're not really like Michael Myers.
no.
No. Michael Myers is about the same age. That's closest to it.
Okay.
You in for an Equalizer 4 and 5, Dave?
I've seen the other three. They're all right movies. So yeah.
They're
But like,
all
if he
right.
signed on for 5 other movies right now and they're just starting to work on the Equalizer 4 and 5, he's going to be pushing 80 by the time they do that. When was the last time, like, what was the last like action role that like Clint Eastwood did? You know? Or was Morgan Freeman in, so like he did,
I mean, he never did action movies, my man.
well,
he's
was
in action movies, but I don't think he does like action roles.
he's the president in the Has Fallen movies. He also, I was trying to figure out what was the other, was he in Red? Retired something, the Bruce Willis movie?
I don't know.
Oh.
Denzel's just built different.
I guess so, dude. Yeah, I don't know. Feels like I just didn't like that. Like, I talked about it last week and he's all right. He walked it back that quickly. It bothered me a bit, if I'm being completely honest with you guys. I didn't want to mislead the people.
Ruffled your feathers.
Were either one of you guys fans of Friday Night Lights, the TV show?
I tried.
Never watched it.
I think I got like maybe a season and a half or 2 seasons in. I was just trying to like watch it on my lunch breaks, and it was just too like that fake drama. Like when I get like pulled out of a TV show because I can just see drama that's written for the sake of being a TV show and drama, and like I'm no longer following the show, and I'm just thinking about now the writers just trying to generate stories. I just fall out of the show.
Couple things. Dante, I think you like All American, right?
I don't know what that is.
CW/Netflix football show.
Never watched it.
I could have sworn we talked about it before. I think you would like Friday Night Lights, by the way. I'm surprised on your front, though, that I thought you would have liked it. The football in it is good. And like I agree, like there's definitely some like drama to it, but I think it's one of the better shows like that. I bring it up to say they are currently working on a new Friday Night Lights series that takes place within the same universe, but with new characters. So the Dylan Panthers are back, baby.
Yay.
Dave, top 5 football movies.
Bro.
Grip it and rip it, baby.
Well,
The
remember
Replacements.
Okay,
Remember the Titans.
fair.
Maybe go with the newest Longest Yard, Adam Sandler one.
Okay. Steve Austin says the N-word in that movie.
Was it him or was it Goldberg?
Goldberg says it.
Yeah. I don't think Steve Austin's in it. It's Goldberg.
No, Steve Austin's in it. He gets given the estrogen pills.
Oh, Goldberg's one of the inmates.
The Rock. I mean, not The Rock. The Steve Austin's an inmate. Kevin Nash is as well. I don't think Goldberg's in that movie.
Okay.
I think you're confusing Stone Cold Steve Austin with Goldberg.
I don't think I am.
So we got 3. There's one omission that you haven't mentioned yet that I think
Friday Night Lights is good.
It's very good, yeah. But there's one that I think you're missing.
Like a big one.
Yeah, at least for me, I think it's very good. It's not We Are Marshall.
I don't necessarily care for that. Not a Rudy guy.
It's not Gridiron Gang either.
I'm not.
I like that one though. It's good.
The Jim Brown movie was meh.
I can't remember the name of it, but I know the one you're talking about.
Is it The Blind Side?
No.
Wow, what are you thinking?
Varsity Blues.
I've never seen it.
Wow. Varsity Blues.
Never seen
Might
it.
be the best one.
And I've seen Not Another Teen Movie like 40 times. And
That's
that's
technically a
probably
football
one of
movie,
the.
I mean, you got the gist, kind of. There's no banana split though. Well, like there is, but it's a girl.
Oh.
Right.
It's not the guy.
Okay.
It's not Chris Evans.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Do you know that Chris Evans had a banana up his ass, Dante? On
Up
film?
his ass.
Yeah.
Wow, what a guy.
I think most of your list is pretty solid though. Replacements would have been the first one that came to mind. Remember the Titans, Varsity Blues. I think Friday Night Lights is very good. It's a little slow, I feel like. There's one other one I feel like we're missing, and I haven't seen Gridiron Gang in a very long time. I remember liking it though.
Yeah.
Okay, so Steve Austin was Guard Dunham, who is like the 25th down the line. And then,
but he is a player in the game against estrogen.
And then you've got one, Bill Goldberg.
Who wasn't it?
Is the 7th member casted, like listed in the cast.
Does it say that he says the N-word?
I think that was Steve Austin. I think you're right. I do recall that.
I think it's crazy that nobody talks about that. That Adam Sandler wrote a movie, and then had a white man call Nelly the N-word.
That's a tough one. I feel like Adam Sandler got the pass. I don't know about Steve Austin.
Well, yeah, because Adam Sandler's Jewish. I think they all have the pass.
No.
All right.
That's not how that works.
It's not for me to give away.
Yeah, that's not how that works.
They've struggled.
Ooh. Little Giants, also. Great movie.
There it is. That's a very good one. That is a very good one.
What about Invincible with Vince Papale?
Ooh, I bought that and it was on my iPod Touch.
Oh shit.
It was that in the movie the Rescue or Rescuer with Ashton Kutcher and
Kevin Costner.
Bought a movie
one of my
on
favorite
Touch.
Yeah.
I would say one of my favorite movies. I do really like it.
Yeah, I've watched it. I like I said, I had 2 movies on my
I had The Office season 1, I think, on my, and then I for my iPod Touch, and then I also purchased the was it the 2005 national championship game of Texas versus USC?
great game.
Vince Young versus Reggie
And
Matt
Liner.
Liner. Yeah.
Very good game. Yeah, you never had anything on your iPod Touch?
I don't think I ever purchased any like media like that. Like I might have had like, obviously I have music on there, but aside from that, maybe like games. Like I remember like Cube Runner and Jelly Car, but like
If you go on my Vudu, the reason those movies are on there is because they got like linked in with my Fandango or whatever, and then like when they merged both companies, that's why it's there.
Huh.
Yeah. I can't think of any other ones I bought. I bought a lot of on my Xbox. I remember I used to buy a lot of UFC fights. So if I log into my Xbox and I go to like my purchases, I can still watch like like Forrest Griffin versus Tito Ortiz from 2006.
Damn.
I think that's a nice little segue into streaming and fighting.
Yeah.
Did you guys watch the Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson fight this past week?
If you could call it a fight, but yeah.
I did not.
I attempted to watch it.
Yeah, and then Netflix failed us.
It worked. I told Dave this already. It worked fine for me.
Did you watch it actually live?
Yes.
Huh.
I fell asleep. That's why I didn't watch it.
Okay.
It was giving me issues during the women's fight, which you said was working for you.
It worked fine up until the last round of the women's fight.
Okay, yeah.
Started giving me
So I definitely I had to back out and go in a couple times. But it worked for me. Yeah, it played from the whole fight. I as the walkouts, while Jake Paul walked out, I fell asleep. And then I woke up at like 3 a.m. and I was like, I already knew I wasn't going to miss anything. So whatever.
Yeah, I got to watch the whole women's fight, but like in 480p is what they essentially gave me.
Yeah.
And then as they were leading up into the main fight, started buffering, kind of lost connection. And as I'm trying to just get in and watch the fight, finally it kicks itself back on mid 5th round. So I missed basically all rounds 1 through 5. It paused again. And then I essentially got to watch fully rounds 7 and 8 because the fight had already ended and everybody had turned Netflix off. So I finally was able to watch.
I wonder if like the streaming sites, like the legal streaming sites, videos were working.
Oh.
I think most content that people were getting were from people filming from their phones and watching on Twitter.
Yeah, I think I saw Antonio Brown streamed it from his phone. Yeah, on like Instagram Live or something.
Was this Netflix's first live?
No,
there's second or third.
There's two other ones that immediately. So Chris Rock had a live comedy special, and then Love Is Blind had their finale on there, and that was the first time that they had a ton of issues. It crashed during the Love Is Blind thing a ton, and they got a lot of like negative backlash because the crazy fan base that show has.
Because they also just locked in the WWE contract. So how's that going to look?
Well, so this is why it was like an important, like an interesting thing for me. And I don't think the WWE thing will be an issue because the traffic is going to be like
a lot lower,
4 or 5 million people as opposed to 50 million people.
Yeah.
I think the bigger thing that you have to be concerned about is the NFL on Christmas Day.
Oh, they have that too.
And I believe Beyonce is performing at halftime.
Right.
So I said this to Dave a couple days ago. I think that it's kind of a blessing in disguise in some ways for the NFL, just because like you've tested the lengths of your bandwidth to such an extreme thing that you can be more prepared for like more of this to come and like being more ready for it. It is concerning though. Granted, it's a platform not built on live streaming, whereas like I was going to say like Amazon has had the NFL for a while. I mentioned earlier, like HBO has an NBA on their thing nightly, but none of these games, like I imagine the NFL Thursday Night Football draws pretty heavily, but even like Peacock was able to support the Olympics. They support Monday Night Football. They had a playoff football game on there. So I wonder in a way, even Disney had Caitlin Clark's games this year on their streaming service. Like, why is Netflix so far behind in the live streaming world when it's something that
should be like the best setup for it?
I mean, not the best setup because they were never a live broadcast platform. So I think that's the issue there. But I think the problem I have is that like they had to bid a lot of money for the NFL on Christmas Day. Like they had to outbid Amazon, who already has dealings with the NBA, with the NFL. Like they had to outbid Peacock. Like that's a big thing to put your money on to not be able to support sorted out more handily because you're only a month and a half out from it, and like you had to know that the Mike Tyson fight was going to draw crazy like this. Like, I
So
think
now they're gonna have to hit up AWS and rent a bunch of extra servers or some shit.
Yeah, I don't think you rent them, right? Like you should probably just buy them at this point.
Yeah.
If Christmas Day goes bad, I guess the reality is like Netflix is never gonna it's not gonna take a hit to that level because like people just have it at this point. It's like a passive thing that you just pay for at this point for a lot of people.
Ridiculous.
Whatever, your personal opinions aside, it's just a fact.
They're not going to gain the projected growth of getting new people on.
And that's the whole point in bringing live broadcast to your streaming service now is because you're trying to show your investors the channel growth. Because that's the whole thing with like Peacock with the Olympics is like the growth that they saw from the Olympics was like substantial, like hundreds of percentile increases due to the Olympics. So the whole thing at this point, we've talked about streaming a million different times on here, right, Tante? Like the thing that's driving new subscribers to streaming is live content. It's not your direct to streaming TV series or movies necessarily.
It's funny because it almost feels like streaming's going backwards in a way. Because it's like, streaming, initially the appeal was you were getting away from live appointment viewing content to be able to watch it on your own time.
Is it that streaming is going backwards or that the world has moved forward so far away from cable that it needs a new home? And they realize that way more people in their homes have cut the cord, and that's the advancement of this. I don't think it's one moving backwards. I think it's that we've progressed. So
now cable's forcing its way back in type thing.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
I just think that like that's more that there's just I think it's more interesting what is the future of like an Xfinity.
I mean, we still need internet, so they're good.
No, I get that, but that like they've built themselves on triple play for forever, and I have just internet from them. So like I got rid of the triple play 7 years ago.
Yeah, and
but I think
who has home phone nowadays? Like,
but I think a lot of people have still predominantly built their. I wonder when they go away from streaming boxes, away from cable boxes with Xfinity, go completely app based. And then I almost think
because I feel like a lot of the cable companies nowadays are not using like actual cable boxes; they're using like Android TV boxes
or Fire Sticks or whatever. But they still do give cable boxes out. I guess my thing is
so like at my house, right? Like we have RCN, and like our cable box is an Android TV box. Like that's what the cable company provides.
The
us.
Shield TV box thing.
It's not like a big name brand one, and it still has like the RCN branding on it, but like you boot it up and it's very much Android. Like you can tell just from like the menu system and everything.
I just wonder when we get to a point with Xfinity to where like if I pay for your internet, you just give me your app and I just have access to
all the shit. Yeah.
Yeah. You're already gouging me on the fucking cost of my internet to begin with. So like throw that in for me, please.
No, that's fair.
Because I don't have, I assume I never even try. Like, can I log into an Xfinity streaming service now if I don't have cable? I assume I can't.
No.
Right.
No,
like
you have to have an actual
cable to now be able to download the app and have access to their
TV.
Yeah. That would be a way, I think, to bring back customers to you, though, and take people away from going the alternatives of these HBOs or Peacocks. Because, like, I can get away with not having it because there's so much live sports are the things that's driving live content on streaming services.
So do you think like the cable companies to adapt would have to then build deals with these streaming services to maybe bundle in with their internet offerings? Like, hey, here's our internet package. Let's say we give you a gigabit for $80 a month, right? But for an extra $20 a month, we can throw in, Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, yada yada.
I feel like they already probably throw in like one of the streaming services similar to like a cell phone company does.
Yeah.
But I more so think about what DirecTV has struggled with for a few years now, where they'll just randomly lose like college football or something because their contract comes up and they're not willing to pay the money that that entity is looking for them to pay. So there'll be like a week or something, or there's like a big finale for a TV show and all of a sudden it's not offered on DirecTV because they weren't willing to pay that company to have them on their service any longer.
That's crazy.
And I think that that's more where you have to look at, like, how many people are you losing because there's this bigger alternative, and whatever cost is it worth it just to retain your customer base for some type of TV streaming? To your point, at that point, they average it out to be like, well, it's $15 more per customer, but they get this other stuff.
It's the whole can't beat them, join them mentality.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. And that's why I asked, like, what is the future of Xfinity is the bigger question in my mind, because they don't seem willing to pivot, and you're losing Christmas football. You're losing Monday Night. Well, Monday Night Football is still on, basic cable, but it's also available on streaming. It's just like so many of these live sports. The fact that like 90% of the Olympics was not on regular TV.
Yeah.
Like, if you've lost all of this stuff to another alternative, when do you change your strategy?
Huh.
I don't know. Streaming's going to consistently be like an interesting, like, where does it keep going? Yeah. And I think it's bad for the consumer, if I'm being honest, because like it's just leading to us paying more money. Like, we've been tricked and we've been conned into thinking that like cutting the cord was the best for us to save money.
But now you have to just
it was
split
at
your
first
money
when
between
there
all
was
these different
when there
companies.
was only one or two options, when it was just Netflix. Really.
But then
that
every
was-
other company jumped into it and was like, oh, we can be direct to consumer and control the content. And instead of having a middleman that is facilitating everything, we can take the money directly to ourselves. Yeah, like flipped it all on its head to where it's more expensive as a consumer. And like I haven't even researched, like, it might be cheaper for me to just have an Xfinity combo than it is for me to pay for all the streaming.
The reason it's still cheaper is because account sharing is a thing. It's a thing we don't ever really want to talk about, but like,
I guess I don't account share though.
I do.
Yeah. I pay for every single streaming service that I have.
I just think it's one of those things where it's like all these streaming services, Netflix aside, let you create multiple profiles so you can manage them separately, all under one payment.
Do you guys really think though that like account sharing is a thing? I'm not trying to say it's not, but like, I would still say the vast majority of people on these streaming services are not account sharing. You're not telling me that like these adults that are like 45 plus are primarily account sharing.
I have access to pretty much every single streaming service, and I don't pay for any of them.
But you're not that demographic that I was just talking about.
Okay.
We eat up like a decent portion of this demographic, but that 45 plus demographic is still split between either having an Xfinity or an RCN or a Verizon, or
I said I'm trying to answer that because I feel like a lot of the people I account share with also are account sharing with their parents, and that kind of answers for that demographic where it's like.
Yeah, I give my mother. My mother has my Netflix account, I think, in that my Disney account, maybe.
Yeah, but I'm saying even we've dealt with customers that like they'll come in and say they want to cut the cord, and like they were all talking about, oh well, my kid's got XYZ account, they're gonna give me the passwords and sign in. Like I think that's
so I don't come across those people that are like, my kid's got X, Y, and Z, and I'm gonna use that. I don't come across those people.
Well, then,
most of those customers who come in and they'll like ask me to like educate them on a Fire Stick, don't know what the fuck they're doing, and they're going to be signing up for they're asking for my advice as to like, is this like I still get what is a smart TV on a daily basis.
So, I think that just on the other end of what you're saying, account sharing is, they're going to be the ones purchasing and paying for it, and then it'll be their friends and family that share and use it.
Yeah, I think that like it ends up, so I think you end up with like the 45 plus crowd buys it and then their kids mooch off of it, I suppose. Yeah. I just don't know that, like, I think that more than 50% of people are account sharing. I still think there's a majority. I wouldn't know what the
percentages are, but I know of the people I interact with, majority of them are account sharing.
Yeah, I still think that it leans towards more not account sharing than are account sharing.
I'm just talking about my.
No, I understand what you're saying. Like I'm thinking, you're speaking in a more like microscopic standpoint, where I'm looking at more like the totality of people. And
what do you have to back that up, though, other than your own experience versus mine?
Yeah, and then like I guess just pulse of what I feel like I see online or what I perceive online. Like I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just like
I think you just have a different mindset than us, where you want to see something, you're going to pay for it. If I see that I have to pay for something to watch it, I will just not watch it.
Well, I don't.
Depends how bad I want to watch it.
What you're not accurate totally there, because like I haven't paid for a UFC fight in 7 years, and I don't, and I watch every one of them. You know, so there's definitely still but then there is, again, going back to that, like a certain age group and up that is not approaching how to get those fights the same way as I am, because there's a reason that the UFC can still put on a fight that does, you know, 1 million plus buys on a $70 purchase price. You know, there's a reason that like Canelo is still making X amount of money on like his fights selling the way that they do, because people are buying those things and are willing to put the money out on a monthly basis. Like the UFC runs a pay-per-view once a month that's $70. And there's a variance of between 300,000 people and whatever that pay for it. And on top of that, they pay for an ESPN subscription to be able to buy it.
I mean, how much of a percentage of that do you think is like the bars that have to pay like per their capacity to buy those pay-per-views?
I don't think that that's really inflating that number in that way. No.
No? Okay.
Like, I'm sure, to your point, like Conor McGregor fights, right? And there's like all of a sudden there's like a 10% increase on the bars that, or maybe even higher, you know, like that's just a whatever number, but of bars that purchase that pay-per-view to be able to show that aren't showing, you know, the fucking flyweight title fight the month prior, you know, like there's definitely that. You're right that there is an increase that comes from it, but there again, that base level of 300,000 has nothing to do with.
Those are just actual fans.
Yeah.
Direct to consumer,
you know,
type shit.
That they're tracking the purchase. Now, there's probably 1 million plus people watching it because of how many people know that you can find a fucking, you know, whatever streaming service you want, like a legal streaming service you want to. Even for like regular everyday sports, I don't have cable, so I don't have access to it, but I'll go on to one of those Stream East or something and watch an NBA game or a random like NFL Red Zone I haven't never had in my life, but on a Sunday, I might pull that up on like a streaming thing on my phone, you know?
No. Okay.
I use the age thing because like those people aren't as savvy of a consumer. So they're going to be more
know
likely.
The loopholes and ways around.
Yeah, they're going to be more likely to just say, and they're in a more like a more like solidified financial standpoint to not need to account share or not need to find an illegal way to watch something, you know?
Yeah, I get you. It's valid.
We went really long on that, so we want to just I'm going to skip my last piece of news because it wasn't that important anyways. Do you have it?
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 Are we like the frogs?
Ribbit?
The Budweiser frogs?
I think I missed that commercial.
The Super Bowl one from like 1 million years ago.
Taste.
If you guys do have it, make sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. Trumpets, Dante.
What you tasting?
Whoa.
Do you want to taste?
Don't ever ask me that.
Do you want to taste?
He doesn't have it.
Yeah. Never did.
I guess I'll if you got
set it off.
If you ain't tasting nothing.
Bro, stop saying that, please.
You're on the wrong show, my man. I went and saw the Cillian Murphy movie, Small Things Like These. Went and saw that in our Dedham Showcase Theater. Holy crap, such a nicer, cleaner experience.
Did you go in Lux?
No.
You have like the most interesting way to compare it though, because you only really go to Braintree and like sometimes to South Bay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, dude,
Braintree's
so
very terrible.
For one, it was a weekend. It was like a Sunday evening. It was like 4 or 5 o'clock. But like my mother wanted to go see this movie, as you know, it's an Irish movie.
Does your mom have an accent?
No.
Okay, she's not that Irish.
Well, pause.
Whoa, yo, you can't just try and take away her culture like that.
And kind of just sitting in the theater waiting for her to come show up. My man, I could see 15 to 20 people working. Where, you know, we go to our local AMC Braintree and there might be 4. And the place is run down. There's no soda. There's no.
Yeah, we didn't talk about this before Red 1, Dave.
Oh yeah.
Again, they had no CO2.
They ran out again.
They ran out of CO2. They sold me a can of Sprite.
I am so glad I went to Framingham.
Yeah, they sold me a can of Sprite. Then I bought popcorn that day, and the butter machine on the side where my movie wasn't working, so I had to go across. And I saw 2 movies, so I had half my thing of popcorn left, but I didn't feel like walking back across because the other movie I was seeing was where I was already at to go put more butter on my popcorn. So like, fuck off, you know.
God damn.
Too consistently. Oh, and I didn't even say this. They have like the promotion all over the place for the green apple like Slurpee thing or whatever that they're selling right now for Wicked.
Oh, like a colored icy.
Yeah, and it all just said out of order. It's like sick, dude.
Bro.
Yeah.
Braintree AMC, the most unprepared for anything movie theater ever.
And we were talking about this, like, that's got to be management issue.
Yeah.
Right? Like, because this doesn't happen at Framingham. It doesn't happen at South Bay.
I mean, like, I don't know how their, like, ordering works, but, like, if all the other surrounding theaters always seem to have in stock what they don't, like, that's just got to be, like, whoever is managing their inventory is not properly managing it.
Yeah, and is never held accountable.
Yeah.
We've got to hold them accountable.
Oh, we got to start going in there and calling corporate, huh? Being the Karens.
Or show up with picket signs.
Yeah. Small things like these.
Oh, yeah.
And Showcase Cinema is superior.
Yes, very much. And it sucks.
To be fair, if Showcase Cinemas had a
membership,
like a membership like
they
this,
do, but it's not as good.
We've done the comparison.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if they had as good of a membership, I would go to Showcase.
Small things like these. You know what? Good movie, but holy shit, boring.
Mm-hmm.
Slow pacing, and just slow storytelling. I mean, Cillian Murphy, I think, just does a really good job of just kind of showcasing that, like, you know, stubborn, like, just put your head down, do your job, get through your life, provide for your family, just shut your mouth and kind of do your thing. And it's obviously it's a movie about like the power and the fear that the Catholic Church had on citizens within Ireland. This movie was based in 1985, but like long since then, like the Catholic Church essentially was the law. Like you did not speak out against anything that they said because, you know, any opposition to them is an opposition to your country and your people.
Mm-hmm. Cillian Murphy, I think, excels at acting without needing to say it, like being a great actor without having to say a ton.
Yeah,
like he doesn't have like a ton of dialogue. Like a lot of this movie is performed through physical expression and like performance. And yeah, I think that's where he stands out very much in this movie, and that's why it ends up being a little dry, I think.
Yeah,
but because it's not a very dialogue heavy movie, it's more you being able to see things play out with his character without needing to say a ton.
I didn't actually rate it yet.
So we're gonna see the rating live. Walk us through your process.
I would probably put it at 17 of 32.
What's ahead of and behind that?
Right ahead of it, Inside Out 2, Ungentlemanly Warfare, It Ends With Us. Right behind it, Beetlejuice, I Saw the TV Glow in Here.
Fair.
Okay.
Fair. How many stars?
That's probably sitting at 3, 2.5 maybe. 2.5. I think 17 of 32. That's
pretty sure I have it at 2.5.
2.5.
Huh. What'd your mom think of it?
So she liked it. So I guess it's based on a book. She read the book. And the way the story kind of just like ends, like you kind of think that there's still a lot more and credits just play. She was like, the book was the exact same way. Like he walked down a hallway and then like just the book stops.
Oh, I'd be pissed.
I mean, that's how the movie ends.
Yeah, it was all right.
Yeah, this is my thing with the movie where like I'm okay with the ending in the context of the movie, but there I would have liked to have seen the reaction of the Catholic Church and like how the ramifications of like the whole movie is building up to him making this decision, but you never see the fallout or what happens based on that decision. And I would have liked to know what happens, but again, like that's a popular thing with movies to leave it
it's
up
always
to the
a fine
audience.
line on like how well those implied endings can work.
Yeah, leave it up to the audience's interpretation. And like I guess it depends. Like again, it goes back to like I was okay because of the context of the movie. That like this whole movie is him becoming okay with that decision.
Yeah,
in a way.
it was his internal struggle on whether or not he needs to stand up and make a choice and like basically just be true to himself. He ends up obviously kind of saving this girl from like abuse at the hands of the Catholic Church, and the whole movie like ends with him pulling her into his house, walking down the hallway as he turns back and smiles just before introducing her to like his family, and it ends. So that just the purpose of the movie was him battling that and then finally being true to himself and finally smiling for the first time in the movie, and then that was it. So
can you explain something to me that I think I didn't understand?
sure.
What happened to his mother? I don't think I understood how she. So in 3, 2, 1 spoiler.
I think
to it, but
I'm not entirely sure because obviously I didn't read the book, but I believe that his mother was along the lines of these girls in the convent.
that was that
And
seemed
then
like that. Was
the like the rich lady that owns that like parcel of land took her in, kind of helped raised her, and she in turn had her own child who then she kind of lived on premises as like a work-in maid, kind of had a job and had housing. And I think that was his driving factor to like being kind of against what these girls
So
were
I
going through.
get all of that, but how did she die?
That wasn't really.
That's the part that did. So he sees her. He's playing in the street.
She just kind of walks.
She walks
she just
by and
dies.
she's perfectly healthy.
Yeah,
Waves to him or whatever, and then he goes around the corner and she's just dead.
yeah.
And I was trying to figure out like, did the guy kill her? Like what happened?
Yeah.
And I thought it was like it just seemed weird that like his struggle with his mom's death was part of his character, and like I just didn't understand how she died. And I thought that was one part. I was like, did I just miss something contextually here that explains what happened to her? Because you just find her in the middle of the road dead. He goes back to the house, to that spot, and I thought like, okay, we're going to get a flashback that explains like how he does, or he's going to see that guy and he's going to explain, or like that we just never really got an answer.
No, she just kind of died, and then it just we moved on, and then he was kind of alone for.
It just I want like would the story have been any different if she had have died from like old age prior to this movie taking place, as opposed to just having her randomly die when she's relatively young without an explanation?
I don't know.
Yeah, I didn't know if I'd missed something, but apparently I did not. Dante, what did you think of A Real Pain?
I liked it. I liked it a lot, actually. You watched it as well, right?
Yeah.
Okay. I didn't really know a ton about it going into it. I just kind of read the plot and was like, all right.
I'd seen the trailer a few times. They had put a pretty big promo buzz on it prior, like for trailers before most of the movies I've been seeing.
Okay. I'm still doing my thing where I'm showing up like maybe halfway through the last trailer kind of thing, so I'm not really getting
framing him with ordering your food to deliver to the theater like makes me get there earlier now. And seeing more than one movie, the way it's been timing out, like I get into the theater before the trailers start sometimes.
When I'm going to Framingham to make the trip worth it, I'm usually doing multiple movies, so I'm usually getting my food on the time in between.
Well, that's where I'm saying like I go to Framingham and see more than one movie, but like it just times up to where like I'm walking into the theater and the trailers haven't even started yet at times.
I guess, yeah, that's valid. I just don't think I'm paying attention to the trailers when that's happening.
Yeah. I initially was not feeling this as much because I think that the first like 10 minutes, I was like, I don't know if I like Kieran Culkin that much. But then I do think by the totality of the movie, I loved him. I thought he was fantastic.
Yeah.
I think he's what pushes this movie over the edge for me for being good.
Yeah, because it's definitely about him at the end of the day.
Yeah. Yeah, and it's like, I think it's a relatively slow movie, and it's not necessarily a laugh out loud funny movie as much as it plays with like those uncomfortable moments.
I compared, like in my head, I compared like the level of comedy of this to like Am I Racist? Where it was like, maybe not the same, but like.
We have different opinions on that movie also, so.
Sure, because you are racist.
Yeah.
But like, I just think it's like, it's uncomfortable at times and kind of tries to break it with an air of comedy. Maybe not, totally the same style of comedy, but I kind of drew those comparisons.
Yeah, no, I mean, I treat it more like in the style of The Office in a way, with the way the humor is, where it's like, you shouldn't be so like, he's just he doesn't have the filter to stop himself from sometimes just saying what he's thinking or feeling. And you can see his character struggle sometimes with like,
well, you can see his character
like
is very clearly bipolar. They never really address that.
Yeah.
As like the whole like mental illness note, but like, I think that was a very clear sign there.
Yeah. And he like, for instance, like the scene in the graveyard, where it's just like, let me give you some feedback. And it's just like completely like tears apart the guy, like in valid feedback, and to the point where the guy comes back around on it and is like, I always ask for feedback. And it's crazy because this is a real life thing where like people ask for feedback on what they could do better, but then once they get it, they're not. Get it. Yeah. And when they get it, it's how they receive that feedback. And he's like, I had a day to digest it, and it was like very impactful to me. But you're watching it happen in real time, and you're Jesse Eisenberg's character.
And you're just like, wow, he's being a fucking dick.
You're like backing yourself into like, it's like you're against the wall. Like let me act like I'm not here. Like,
no, I get it. Yeah.
And I think it's very relatable because in real life, like I don't remove myself from uncomfortable situations. So
no, you do not.
I can definitely relate to that idea of being like, I'm just stuck here now, and I have to be part of like this train wreck that's happening in front of me. So, yeah, I thought they both delivered on great performances. I really liked the group like that they were with. I thought everybody had like a nice.
They played off each other well,
Yeah, and they all had their own moments to shine, and like everybody, his character was like, they do such a good job with his character of being like, yeah, like in the dinner scene, I think illuminates
really
this so
ropes
well.
Everything back in.
Yeah, where it's like he is the best person in the world, and he will light up every single room. And this is the bipolar thing you're talking about, where it's like. He'll light up every single room he walks into. But there's a dark side to that too, where he's never truly happy. The only thing I have is this is another ambiguous ending, where I thought the ending would have been like he goes to dinner with the family, like when they get back to New York.
Yeah.
And instead he just stays in the airport and like is sitting in that chair, and you're just kind of left to be like, so did his character grow or not grow?
I was kind of confused about that too, because also when you first meet his character, he was just already in the airport. So I'm like, I was homeless. Exactly. Yeah. That's what I was thinking.
Yeah, like that's the homeless thing definitely crossed my mind
because like they're hinting to the fact that he's like going through shit. Like he tried to like take himself out and like it's just like
even when he says like, what are you gonna do when you get back? And it's like he says he's gonna go to his friend's house and help him build like a deck or whatever, but modifications on his house.
And he stops him. He's like, but what are you doing?
Yeah, like so that the ending was. I mean, again, it's just like that ambiguous ending of like you perceive it how you want it, like take what you want out of that.
I think it worked for this though.
Yeah,
I think you don't need a ton of that like backstory and detail to understand who he is as a character, and I think almost like if they added that, then it would have made this movie a beat too long. Whereas I think it gave you enough, and like those questions, yeah, sure, there are questions you might want to know the answer to, but I don't think they necessarily need to be answered. Yeah,
going back to the thing, like you guys didn't watch Succession, right? Was the show at all, right?
No,
I didn't watch it either, but I it was like hugely popular and considered to be a great show, like one of the better shows in the past like 5-10 years or whatever. And so like that's where I know Kieran Culkin from, and people like think he's great, and that's where I was like when we first started watching the movie, I started watching it. I couldn't tell how I felt, but I can definitely see where I'm like, this guy is very, very good, like. Great actor. And Jesse Eisenberg already has like a track record for himself. He also, speaking of Jesse Eisenberg, before we give our ratings, they asked him if he'd be interested in doing a Social Network 2. Like a sequel to it.
Yeah.
And he was like, he basically was like, I'll do anything that anybody asks me to do. He's like, if you want me to do like a Geico commercial, I'll do a Geico commercial. Like, he's like, if somebody wants me to do a home movie, I'll do a home movie. He's like, you give me something to do and I'll do it. So it seems like he's open to the idea. And originally I was like, how would that work? But they had all the lawsuit stuff and shit like that has come since, that there's definitely a movie probably to be made from The Social Network or a sequel based on all the stuff. Like, you have so much, it's still a relevant thing today, and like so much has happened, you know? I gave this 3 stars.
I did as well.
And I rated it. I should really just sort this, but I'm not going to. I put it in at 25.
I put it in at 30.
Okay.
It's directly behind Saturday Night.
I have it behind Goodrich and Saturday Night, and then I have it in front of My Old Ass.
Okay. I have My Old Ass ahead of those, but I have it in front of Your Monster.
Anything else for the movie theaters, guys? I did not see anything else.
I think I watched the beauty pageant movie.
Yeah. Dave's trying to convince me to see
The
it.
Christmas pageant one?
Yeah. Christmas pageant.
Dave's
The
trying to
best
convince me to
Christmas
see
pageant
it.
ever.
I read the reviews and I was like, this is still not something I want to see.
It's another Jesus movie.
I know. And the reviews were like, I don't know, all kind of were just like, some of them were like, well, it's very much religious, but like it does a good job of not being like overtly. And then other ones were like, this is like the most overtly religious thing possible. Like, it's too mixed. I was like,
I would say it's just as religious in the sense of like Heretic, where like it brings up a lot of facts about religion and stuff, but like it almost is more of like a way of educating you on shit without like shoving it down your throat that you should be religious, if that makes sense.
I get it.
I mean, it was okay. It's very much like a family movie, so it's very like dulled down in that like tone. But it had good moments. It's very, very, very predictable.
That's where I'm like, I just think I know what's gonna happen, and there's nothing that enticing about what I've seen from the trailer to make me want to see it.
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like, it was okay. Didn't really do anything great. Didn't really do anything bad. It was just kind of there. I gave it 2.5 stars. Dropped in the middle. It's at 56.
Anything else anybody's watched?
I didn't watch anything else in the theater.
Yeah.
But I did basically binge in like, I don't know, 2 different mornings.
You finally watch Outer Banks?
Divergent movies.
Damn.
Which I was telling him you watched them recently.
Yeah, I watched them right before they got taken off of Netflix, like 2 months ago?
Oh, yeah, I was watching them on Paramount, I think.
That must be where they ended up.
Yeah, nothing special, honestly. Pretty kind of just bland and formulaic to all those kind of like quick teen books to movies of like the early or late 90s and late 2000s, early 2010s. Kind of follow just the Harry Potter, Hunger Games type, like dystopian, like put people in houses or factions or whatever and kind of pit them against each other.
I like the world.
I thought the first 2 movies were like all right, kind of when you're basically the whole story's within I guess I didn't really know that it was Chicago until like the very end of the second movie as they're walking down the river and you see all like the bridges.
I'll be honest, I didn't know until they told me it was Chicago.
So that's the thing. And then in the third movie, when they kind of escape that bubble, they tell you multiple times that now it's Chicago, but they never said that before. And man, that third movie sucked. It just got way too complicated. Tried to be way too scientific and futuristic with the
that
technology.
Was the one where, like, she finally leaves the bubble, right?
Yeah, with Jeff Daniels and the genetic testing, and they have surveillance on the entire city. And
Dante, how much does this remind you of The Uglies?
A lot, because I'm thinking of it right now, and I keep putting in scenes of The Uglies.
Yeah, I think it's very much like The Uglies. You should check out The Uglies if you watched these, just for comparison take.
All right. And then obviously they leave it off very, like, there's still more to the story. So I knew nothing about this trilogy or series or anything like that. There's a fourth book to these 3 movies, which I assume they just didn't make enough movie. I think they made $730 million in the 3 movies combined. I don't know what the budgets were, but
not enough to justify coming back
with the fourth movie and finishing it. So I was telling Lenny the other day, like before work, I tried to stop off at a Barnes & Noble, see if they just had kind of a copy of that fourth book for relatively cheap, and I'd just buy it and try and read it in a couple of days. But they had the first 3 books and they didn't have the fourth book. So
I wonder if I might listen to all 4 of them. I might go and check those out because I've seen the movies. Like I don't know if I ever finished Insurgent, but I've watched the first 2 or whatever. So maybe I'll just go, instead of watching the movies, I'll just go and read quote unquote read the 4 books.
Have the books read to you.
Yeah, and obviously watching the movies, I would assume that the book probably does a better job of like kind of hiding the cynicism of Miles Teller's character. Piece of shit from the jump.
Yeah.
The second that he's introduced, he
just.
I was going to
Yeah.
ask you guys, could you tell that he was miserable making it? Because I'm pretty sure he hates those movies.
I'm not
Really?
surprised.
I think he signed on to it and immediately, like we talked about Miles Teller last week, like I think that he signed on to it, realized he would rather make like artsier movies, like more serious films, but was in a contract to make all of those. And I feel like it comes through with the performance a little bit too.
Huh.
But apparently you guys didn't see it, so it's fine. Maybe I'm wrong.
I mean, his character was someone that was supposed to hate being there, so I think it just kind of just comes through as a good performance, even if he did hate it.
What's Theo? What's the other guy's name? Theo. Theo James. The male lead.
4. Yeah. Divergent came out in the exact same year as Whiplash. So
kind of times out that he all of a sudden did a movie that was like critically acclaimed and like taken very seriously, and he was like, I want to be taken seriously. Because he did that what's the starts with an S, Spectacular Now, like right around that too. Spectacular Now is fantastic with him. It's with the same girl from Insurgent, from Divergent.
Shailene Woodley.
Yeah, they did that movie together as well.
I didn't know anything about her other than
2013.
her connection to Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah, Spectacular Now. Dante, put it on your list.
Yeah,
I won't tell Dave too, but like you should put it on your list.
coming of age teen drama, right up my alley.
He plays like a piece of shit in that too.
Huh.
But like, finds his way kind of piece of shit.
Finds his way kind of piece of shit.
Yeah. So I told you guys I stayed up until 4 a.m. watching movies last night. I watched Romeo Must Die and Cradle to the Grave.
Hell
night.
yeah. We
Yeah.
just talked about those like 2 days ago. Yeah.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah. I knew this when I was younger, but it just didn't like register the same way. The overlap between the cast between those 2 movies.
Yeah.
Romeo Must Die comes out first. Cradle to the Grave comes out second. Cradle to the Grave has like 8 or 9 people that were in
Romeo
Must Die. So then it clicked to me, must be the same director. So I looked it up. Same director for both movies. I also just was looking at this, and what's very interesting? 2017 and 2020, this director, his last 2 movies he's come out with. 2017, he came out with a movie called Maximum Impact. 2020, he came out with a movie called Dead Reckoning. What are the initials for Maximum Impact? MI.
Oh, God.
MI Dead Reckoning, guys? Mission Impossible, Dead Reckoning.
So Tom Cruise is a biter.
I guess so. Yeah.
That's what you're trying to get me to
I
see,
just
right?
thought it was
Yeah?
funny that like his past 2 movies, I could just make out Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning out of. But yeah, he did 3 movies that all you could just make complete sense all in a row. So 2000 he does Romeo Must Die. 2001 he does Exit Wounds. 2003 he does Cradle to the Grave. Those 3 movies I love very, very much, but they all have DMX in it. Like there's just like a ton of overlap. I'm pretty sure the bad guy in Exit Wounds is one of the same bad guys from Romeo Must Die. Romeo Must Die, not dies. There's just there's a ton of overlap in the characters between those movies. I also, because it's been so long since Aaliyah's been gone, like I forgot how like attractive that woman was.
Mm-hmm.
And I was sitting there like, she was immensely talented at like 20 years old in 2000. And I was just like, I want to like imagine her having the rest of her life in front of her to continue growing. Yeah. Like you look at the people who have done like the crossover thing, and like she was a fantastic musician and also was like a credible actress. Yeah. I thought that was cool. I loved Romeo Must Die so much as a kid, and I didn't love it as much watching it this time.
Damn.
The action,
I remember loving it, and I kind of want to rewatch it.
Their chemistry is fantastic. I just don't think that the fight sequences. I love Jet Li in the early 2000s. He's one of my favorite actors in the early 2000s. And it just didn't feel quite as good. There's just too many scenes where
he's very clearly on strings.
Yes, that's my gripe. Yeah, 100%. Like there's physics that don't make sense.
Yeah,
when we've all seen the movie, right? So like, no, you've never seen Romeo Must Die.
What?
All right. Well, so there's 2 things. They use the graphics of showing the bones breaking inside of people's bodies like several times throughout the movie. But there's a scene where they both jump up to kick each other. So they're both foot to foot. And in midair, he both kicks the guy's foot down. The guy does a complete 180. So now his head's facing him. And then he kicks again at the top of his skull and breaks his entire neck and back. And it just looks so like fake, like it looks ridiculous, I still love the movie. It's still a lot of fun. Anthony Anderson is really funny in both movies. Is very funny. DMX, I remembered thinking he was a better actor than he was in those movies. I'm going to watch Exit Wounds today, I think.
Yeah.
Have you seen any of the 3 of them?
I haven't seen Exit Wounds.
Damn, guys.
I had to check that. But I've definitely seen Romeo Must Die and Cradle to the Grave at least 3-4 times each.
So Exit Wounds is DMX again as a main star, but it's Steven Seagal instead of Jet Li. And then Steven Seagal also in that same 5-year run, because this is where like some rappers were making the transition. You also have Half Past Dead.
That's one of my favorites.
Which is Steven Seagal and Ja Rule.
I don't think that's one I can go back and watch because I'll probably hate it now, but
no, I mean, like I know what they are. I know what I'm very acutely aware of Steven Seagal's catalog, and I know what I'm getting into when I watch his movies. Yeah. So sign me up. Do you remember the scene in Exit Wounds? No, you've never seen Exit Wounds, right?
Nope.
So there's a sick scene. He's behind something that's getting shot up. I think it's like bags of cocaine or something. But he loops he has a shotgun, and he loops like the strap to the shotgun around the trigger, and he throws it up and then yanks the thing to pull the trigger so it shoots people without having to like expose himself. Fucking sick, dude. I'm pretty sure it's so Tom Arnold it's funny, like the crossover, this director just brought people with him because Tom Arnold is in Cradle to the Grave. I believe he's also in Exit Wounds, playing like the same character in both, basically. But so that's my action recap for the week.
Hell yeah.
I want to watch The Penguin. I just haven't done it.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I just can't get myself to do it. You guys can't either.
No,
I won't.
It's like, people are like, it's one of the best shows I've ever seen. And I'm like, I know it's great.
I don't care.
I missed it.
Yeah.
It went past me. And now and it's good because I know I will eventually watch it. And now I can just binge all of it and just see it and be like, wow, that was incredible. But it's just now getting myself to dedicate the full day to, or basically, how we do this. Like, at 11 o'clock at night, deciding I'm going to watch this and then not sleep.
Till 8 a.m.
Yeah.
Do you have to watch Gotham in order to watch that?
No, they're 2 separate universes.
The Batman, the Robert Pattinson movie.
Oh, okay, cool. I already saw that.
And there's already Easter eggs, I guess, within the series that I've seen like screen captures from on Twitter that lead into Batman 2.
Okay.
Which next week we should probably put a bookmark in this because I kind of want to talk about who they're rumoring for like villains for Batman 2 and how we feel about it.
Okay.
So, nothing else, right, guys?
Nope.
Cool. All right. Well, if you're still here, thanks for sticking around, guys. We appreciate you very, very much. Also, if you're still here and you haven't done so yet, like, comment, share, and subscribe on the pod, please.
Thank you so much.
Tell a friend, ask a friend. Till next week, we bid you fale adieu.
Peace.
Guns up.
Hey, load them up.
Bang. Bang. Bang, bang.
Skeet skeet.
For those with good taste.
We're doing the 4 shots now, huh? Yeah.
A little spicy.
Gave you extra ammo.